Hi. So here are some of the ways that I sort out my life. After covering that, yes, it is a boring life. You might as well see how organized it is. Now, I know my school days are far, far behind me. However, we're a few weeks into the start of the academic year, and I think it's going to be half term soon. But the start of the school year always inspires me to make a fresh start. I strive to work harder and smarter and to become better versions of myself. At least those were my thoughts as a student those years ago. Now, while none of us have all the answers, each person has a small trick that helps them to succeed. You have yours, I have mine. And I thought I'd just document my list of organization that helps me to sort of put some what's the word, organization into my life. Let me put it like that. Just a little bit better to remove the chaos. Some things I do to help me feel more in control of the life that I live. Now, the very first thing is that I know my broke amount. Yes, I don't know anybody who has money in London nowadays, but if you do, you have to know your broke amount because life can get really tough. Having this amount in mind helps me to maintain a discipline. It helps me to maintain a good mental health and financial confidence. I learned about this a few years ago, and it has helped me to put things into perspective for me. Once you reach the broke amount, you just stop spending, basically, because that is the lowest you've decided you want to go. So once I get to that amount, I put a stop to it, and that's it. But obviously, you can see the amount approaching, so you have time to adjust yourself, adjust your spending, and then you proceed. The second thing I do to sort my life out is to have a place for our keys. We have a hook or a bowl for keys, somewhere convenient that helps us to avoid the pain of constantly looking for them when we need them the most, which is probably when we're about to head out the door. So if it has a place, then I know where to go and look for it. I don't have to struggle. The next thing is I don't ever work in places where I cannot take my cooked lunch. Yeah, I know it sounds good. It is. That's because it gives me an insight into the culture of the organization or the company that I'm going to. I could be wrong, but so far it has worked well for me. And saying it out loud now actually makes me sure of myself that it could be useful for you. It could be useful for somebody else as well. So bear it in mind. The fourth thing I do is to keep bags for life in the car. A handbag, a work bag, my backpack, whatever it is that I'm likely to take shopping, there's a bag for life in there. In the UK, you have to take your shopping bag to the store with you when you're going shopping for environmental reasons. We decided to charge, initially it was 5p a bag for the plastic ones. Now they go up to about 80p for the bags for life. And that's not to say plastic bags are not still being produced in circulation. If you pop down to your local market, they'll still sell fruits for you in plastic bags. So I don't know what we're doing, but I do hope that we're doing our bit in leaving the environment in a better condition that we found it for the future generation. The fifth thing I do to sort my life out is managing my mails, both email and post mail. The key thing I find is to handle it as soon as it comes through our home, through the door. I don't leave post mails to build up at the door. I don't like chaos. I don't like untidiness. So I open it the same day it arrives and action it either immediately or later. It doesn't matter. And you know, if you live in the UK or anywhere else in the world now, if you get 10 post mails in a day, at least five of them are probably bills. But then, if you have emails too, then they are bills. No matter what news it carries, I can almost tell you that I will act immediately on it afterwards because it helps to just keep my mind free. And our home is clutter-free that way as well. Everybody is happy. Number 6 is I don't have friends who pick out ashrebi. I don't. I find that such gatherings don't fulfill me. They don't bring me joy, and therefore it cannot be around me. The ashrebi becomes clutter in your wardrobe. and it ends up on landfill. Even if you give them away, you give them to pass them on to somebody else, and they still end up throwing them away. They will still end up in a landfill. So why bother? Although I wasn't raised in an environment where partying is life, so I guess that is my privilege, and somehow I've come to embrace it, even as an adult. Besides, it does something to my brain that I cannot just put into words. I feel so light without having that pressure. Number 7 is that I monitor our passports. I set a renew passport reminder 6 months to a year before mine or my family members' passports expire. So whether we plan to travel or not, I do that. I also keep digital scans of everyone's passport. Somewhere I can easily find it. I make use of the cloud storage, and I hope that it never rains, right? The next thing is that I manage subscriptions. This one is very important because it's one boring life admin for me. I dislike it, but it's so worthwhile. I go through bank statements for regular payments. If I don't recognize it, then I need to tackle it. If I can't remember it, I need to tackle it as well. So I always make sure to check whether we're paying for subscriptions that are not important to us, for things that we don't need or we don't want. The Amazon, the Prime, what else do you have nowadays? There's Disney, there's Now TV. It's ridiculous. It's better to have as few of these subscriptions as possible, because who sits around watching TV all day? Really, who does? I don't. So I don't know why we would want to be throwing money away at something like that. Then number 9 is that I do just one thing. I try to make that one phone call. I try to send that one email. I try to complete that one form a day. I call the dentist. I pick up the prescription. I follow up with the parent. I follow up with meal times, meal prep, anything I can do to stay on top of personal and life admin. I do it. It gets done. If not, I will become overwhelmed. And I always remember my father's voice saying to me, why leave till tomorrow what you can do today? I do that. Number 10, I turn off notifications. So things like phone notifications can be horrible for my concentration. I don't like them, and it sort of displaces my focus. So to avoid the distraction, they deserve to be turned off. So I don't have phone notifications. A lot of my WhatsApp group chats and WhatsApp messages are on mute. Family members' WhatsApp messages are on mute, unless they're of my nuclear family and it's in a case of emergency. No, turned off. I don't need it. I don't want a case where I will be jumping up. I don't have to pay for it, so I can live stress-free rather than jumping up every time my phone pings. I don't want that. 11 is someone suggested that we all do what they call a passive wardrobe audit. And what that is that at the start of the year, you turn off you turn all your angers the wrong way around, so that by the time it gets to the end of the year, if anything is facing the right way, it means you haven't worn it. You need to get rid of it. Because if you haven't worn it for a year, you probably won't wear it again. No, don't come up with, I just might have a party and no, don't do that. And just to add that it doesn't have to be a full calendar year. For us who live in the West where there are seasonal changes, it could be from one winter to another. And if you haven't managed to turn that hanger around, then you don't need that piece of clothing. Just let it go. Let it go, let it go. Yes, you don't need it. Number 12 is unsubscribe. I unsubscribe from newsletters, from emails, from YouTube channels. Yes, I said that. 1 day a week, I commit to finding and using that unsubscribe button every time an unwanted email arrives in my inbox. It doesn't stop my junk inbox from being full. So I'm much more conscious of what I give my email out to now. I don't have an inbox zero. And I mean, I don't have a junk folder that is not full. But it does help me to reduce that unnecessary noise in my life. And against the preaching on YouTube and social media, I try not to have subscriptions. I go by my own understanding that if you provide value to me, I will remember your channel name. And I have done. It's a no-brainer for me. It's how I've managed to keep tabs on my favorite content creators to date. Yes, I have favorites because they have continued to be genuine. They've continued to renew my connection with them. They've continued to inspire me, to add value to me. So I will always remember their names. I won't be sharing their names here with you. Number 13 is creating pleasing pockets of neatness. This could be a thing that is just for organized people like me, because for some people it's a well organized, sock drawer. For others it could be maybe you have a neatly folded underwear. For me, I love making my bed in the morning. I love seeing that the laundry is folded. I love seeing the bills of clothing just folded and tidied up. It helps me to start my day when my bed is made. I love an organized and tidy kitchen. I can't swing you around to show you my kitchen, but I love a tidy and clean kitchen. So I make an effort. Number 14 is I minimize morning pain. So the night before, I set out all my clothes and pack my work bag so that I'm ready to go. Yeah. That's because I can just throw on my clothes in the morning and get out the door. I do the same thing for my little, so you can get into the habit early too. I find that it saves time, not only dressing up, but also reducing the mental stress of thinking, what will I wear? So when it is ready, I have it laid out the night before, and then it's one less thing for us to think about in the morning. And with little one, they take their time. Number 15 is ice, which I read a long time ago. I ice my phone contacts. Important people in my life have the word ICE, ICE, saved next to their names or with their names. It stands for in case of emergency. You can take it further by adding important medical information, your allergies, your blood group, your health conditions. So it's accessible even from your locked screen. Android users have this feature under safety and emergency, I think. And I think for Apple, it's under your health app. Because you never know what might happen. We're all walking around, we don't know these machines we're in, we don't know what's going on inside of them. So in case something happens, emergency personnel, paramedics can actually go into your phone. That's if you can talk while you're down, really. And they can help. These things can really save lives. Number 16, I keep doing the microwave squat. Every morning I get up to make breakfast. My bowl of oats takes about 3 minutes, 30 seconds to cook. And while it's cooking, every morning I try to do jumping jacks equal to the number of years I've lived, or squats in that time period, because it's such a simple thing. I'm using that dead time, 3 minutes, 30 seconds. A lot can happen in that time. So as I continue on this journey called life, I'm taking intentional steps that will help me along the way, hopefully. So with these steps, with these few ways, I find that they are simple, and I'm able to then stick more with them. And the more I stick with them, the more orderliness there is in my life. So what do you do to simplify your life? I'd like to know. Until next time.